Hello, good evening, welcome. My name is Kwabena. Welcome. I want to share with you today what I've termed the program of our mind. The program of our mind, and it's responsible for whatever happens in our lives. The program of our mind is responsible for whatever happens in our lives. This mind, which is that powerful, is hugely responsible. Whether it's an individual, whether it's a company, whether it's a culture, a tribe, a race, a family, even a continent, the common thought of any group of people, the program that they have had, is virtually responsible for everything that happens. How the thing comes to be, how it is understood and interpreted, and how they are applied. So from day one that you were born up to whichever age that you are, everything that you have ever encountered, seen, read, felt, everything that we have ever encountered, our mind captured them, and they eventually will produce them like the computer that they say it's a program on it. If you put Microsoft, say Excel, on your computer, you would not expect that Excel to do what let's say the program that AutoCAD, for instance. You will not expect the Excel to work as what AutoCAD will do. So our mind is like that. It's a program. It's a program. I was born in Ghana, raised up in Ghana. The same human being, if I was born in another country, let's say Togo, what I know now will not be the same because of the encounters. If I was born in, let's say, Liberia or Kenya, my attitude will be different. The way I understand things will be different. So the mind, they say that we are just the product of our thought, and it's so true. Individually, we are the product of our thought. As a country, we are the product of our thought, and as a race, we are the product of our thought, and it's coming from the program that our minds have had, which means that there is not much that is going to change until the program on that mind has been at least hacked and maybe reprogrammed. Not much. You can sit somewhere and predict what people are going to be. You can sit somewhere. You may not be able to predict maybe the quantum, but you'll be sure because of how they look at this world. The program of our mind is how we look at this world, how we see ourselves, how we think, how we react to situations of life. So human beings are nothing but a program. What is here is what we are living. And so you cannot help any group of people until you've been able to help them to look at the program, that program on their mind. Any developed person came to a time that they understood that they would have to have a program that will be responsible for the life that they wanted to live. Any company, as a matter of fact, countries have developed because they saw they had to reprogram the way their people thought. They had to consciously develop it. They had to change everything or improve what they thought about themselves, what they thought about life, what they thought about human beings, how they how they eat, how they dress, how they work, how they handle finances, everything, how they talk, the language that they were going to use. Over time, successful countries have worked on these things. That's why they're successful. Now, hugely, the other countries that are not successful, they just believe that once you are born, it will happen. And so the program is never consciously, deliberately done. So if you were born in Ghana, for instance, they told you that we were born in this culture, Sante culture. So they told you a lot of things about Sante culture. And then they sent you to school. And you happen to have a job. And with this, they think that you become successful. There was not a program, conscious effort to program these people to think success, to link at their thoughts as responsible for the productivity as a group. So we're still finding it. I think the greatest thing that the divinity gave us to live on this earth with is how human beings are able to program their thought, to program their mind. And if they do it consciously, they'll be successful. If they leave it to chances, to be responsible for everything that happens in our lives. And so, even though a lot of people are telling us all kind of things, we've been taught a lot of things as a group of people. Africans have been taught all kind of things. I mean, for the last whatever years that I've lived, people, teachers, father, mother, uncle, sister, preachers, politicians, radio stations, TV programs, all the things that we have learned and heard, they have shaped, they have programmed my mind. If they were strong and they were good, they are responsible for my productivity now. How I understand life, the peace that is in my life, my finances, the kind of health that I enjoy, how I treat people, how I interpret the things that happen in my life, how I even understand God is a program. For instance, majority of us understand God as somebody who is responsible for everything that happens in our lives. That's how we were programmed with God. So you can pick every subject and see that we've been programmed on everything. God, human being, spirituality, finance, job, business, technology, every one of them. If you pick the average person, there is a program. If you ask them questions, there will be an answer that they give. So let's go to God, for instance. We've been told that God is responsible. As I was growing up, I remember some of the people I knew were at the Adventist church people, and they said that they are the only people who will go to heaven. It was a program. And then I went to Catholic church. They also told us something. Then I went to Charismatic church. They told us to speak in tongues. Then all kind of things they told us. Those were program. Now, if you look at the results that we have, everything that is happening, let's say in my life now, my thought on finance, my thought on God, my thought on the value for human life, my thought on creativity, on work, they're all coming from this kind of program. So if I'm getting results, it's because those things are right or solid. If I'm not getting results, it's because the program is weak. That's why we can pack a lot of people, all kind of gathering, and tell them that their lives will change. And they will believe it because of the program that they have had all their years. The program is responsible. You may think that you have a choice. You may think that you are an individual. You may think that a lot of the things that we think about are original with us. They may be, but to the large extent, they are not. The environment that we grew up in, the family that we are coming from, the teachers who came before us and what they taught us, they have been responsible for our results. They have been. The same human being If they pick my clone and put him in another country, my mind will be different. The program will be different. So human beings are just living out of a program. I know the religious people will say that I don't believe in God. I believe in God. I absolutely believe in God. I pray. I love people. I love God. But after a while, the things that work are the divine laws, the principles. And you can see consistency in the laws of nature, in the laws of God. And you can see that the people who have been successful on this earth, look at their program. Look at the answers. Look at how they see life. Look at the things that they are passionate about. Look at how they do things. Pick any successful country. Pick a citizen from the average citizen. Look at how they act. Look at the value they give to another human life. Look at the compassion that they show. Look at how they follow the countries and their laws. Look at their honesty level. Look. And then pick the average citizen from a poor country. You can see how they respond to the same thing. Same thing. It's not because they are evil, no. It's a program. It's not because they are evil. Like usually somebody will say that, oh, the black man is no, it's not. The black man's problem is the program that they have given us, the program that we were born into, that we have left it for years, thousands of years. We have not attacked it. We have not said that human beings are born into an environment. And the environment is so much powerful, and they decide everything that their mind starts to pick. And after a while, they start to give the same results out of the mind. It's a program. And at the personal level, we can improve our lives. If you become aware, that is a program. At the personal level. At the country level, I'm not the president, so I don't know. But maybe you can inspire somebody to also look at the subject and say that my life is just a reflection of the program that I've had. As a man thinks in his heart, so is he. The thoughts of men are responsible for everything that happens in our lives. If anybody can control any group of people, they start by changing the program on their mind. So when they came and they wanted to enslave the Africans, which they still do anyway, they still continue. They still continue with the program. They don't have to be here to control us. They just left things that can control us. So it's a mind. It's a program. A lot of people will say that, oh, there are a lot of spirituality, the pastors, the way they have taught us. When I was a child, I believed those things. Now that I'm growing, I think there is more that we need to understand than just somebody saying that pray and everything else will be okay. Pray, everything. Our only solution, everything is prayer. That's what we have told us. There's not much understanding. There's not much attention given to the mind program. There's not much. A lot of the Christians, as we are, they told us not to look at the mind at all. They even put fear in us to question a lot of things. But we went to school, so I understand. If you went to school and they gave you some little ability to think, why would somebody say that don't use your brain? Don't use your brain. So it's a program. Life is a program. The quality of your life is a program. The quality of my life is a program. The finances, they are a program. They decide, because every decision that we make, every choice that we are making, they are coming from something. And usually it's the brain. So the difference between men is the quality of the program that they have. Your heart for people is coming from the program that you have had, the culture you grew up in, the family that brought you up, where you live. If let's for instance, if you live in a country where a car will hit somebody and nobody will care and the others will drive on them. When you see a lot of poor people begging on the street, when you see people sleeping in the kiosks, when you see people uh, dying, you go to the hospital, for instance, you see people dying for nothing. After a while, you don't value human life anymore because it's a problem. If you grow up in another country where any little thing they put the human life so high, they pay attention, they have time. When you get anywhere that they trivialize human lives, you become sad, you become disturbed. Why? Because that's how you've been programmed. If you're corrupt, if you steal, if you're, let's say you're doing business with people and you just think that I just have to put something there and cheat them, it's a program. It's nothing to do with I'm a Christian, so I won't steal. Oh. It is a program, the environment that you grew up in. If you grew up in an environment where people were honest, credible, excellent, they treat people as they have agreed. If you grew up in that environment, it doesn't matter whether you say you believe in God or you don't believe in God. It's how you are programmed. So once you are confronted with any situation like that, it just plays. It just plays. So our people, our continent, Africa, we cannot leave the culture as it is to produce this kind of people who do anything anyhow and still believe and hope that we will develop. That's a major dishonesty that we have done to ourselves. And we think that the so-called culture that we have, we can leave it like that people can behave anyhow. People, for instance, the way we treat time. Just anybody at all can come and sit in the office and talk, Or every weekend we go to funeral, we spend 20 hours there, come back. We go to work, Saturday, we are not working. Tuesday to Friday, that's where we are working. The way we do things, and we still believe that we are going to develop. What makes us think that we can develop like that is because of the program. The other people who have not had this kind of program, when they sit back, they know that it's possible, but it will take a lot of time. Because they can see, because they are coming from different kind of environment. They see what works and what does not work. So it's a program. Your life is a program. Whether it's your finances, whether it's your career, whether it's your family, whether it's a country that we want to develop, even your health, the kind of food that you eat. It's just coming from there. Why do you like this kind of food? Do you think of the health or you just eat because of the taste? You cook the food for 12 hours because it's fufu. You eat because of the health or you eat because that's how you grew up with. A lot of us, we eat not for the health reason, but to fill our stomach. It's a program. Even though we have lived, maybe we are not even living in the same village. But it's so difficult for us to question it because it's a program. You grew up with fufu and banku and kenke. And they prepare. You see the process that they go through. So when you eat them, do you really think that you get healthy? Or you just fill your stomach? But you cannot question it. Because that's all that we have. That's all that we have. It's a program. It's a program. The respect you have for people is coming from the program. The respect. If you grew up in an environment where people respected people, for instance, it's so difficult to respect, let's say, women. Because when he was growing up, he's playing that which he saw the father do. That which you saw the uncle, how they talked to the woman, how the women were carrying the things always in their head, going to the farm. We were playing the football and they were always in the kitchen cooking. Now you go to marry. Well, sorry. So if you grew up in an environment where they had no respect for women, for instance, no matter how many degrees that you have now, if nobody ever taught you about how to handle women. That program that you saw when you were growing up will play when, let's say, you marry or you have a woman. The same way, you will not know what to do with her. You will react just as you saw your uncle or your father or your senior brother react with women. It's a program that you have. But there is maybe hope when you start to question the results. Because anything that frustrates you, anything that cripples you, anything that makes you not at free, not at liberty, that thing may not be right. Because they say that if there is a truth, the truth should bring liberty. Anything that brings results, freedom, peace, is likely to be the right program. And so if you pick the woman and you see that, the way I talk to the woman is wrong, you go for the different information. If that information gets you results, it means that you start to reprogram your mind. You come to your finances, say, if you grew up and nobody told you anything about money, and which they didn't teach you in school, which the family didn't teach you, I can tell you that the program will be in error. When you get money, you will not make the right choices with it. And it can follow you all your life because the program does not easily go away like that. It takes a lot of effort, a lot of conscious training, deliberate attempt to reprogram your mind for the successes that you want. So we, Ghanaians, Kenyans, Nigerians, Africans, if you're going to develop, there must be a consensus to agree that a lot of the things that we think we are holding on to because of the so-called culture may be responsible for our lack of productivity and poverty. The places that we are struggling, the places that we have pain, the places that we are not getting the results that we have to have, those are the places that we have to look at the program. It may not be that everything is wrong, no, but the things that we are struggling in, it may be that the program that we had or the program that we continue to have, the mind program, is weak. It's weak. It's weak. So don't let anybody confuse you and let you believe that they have the power to create the future that you desire. Like the way they are doing all over in Africa, where any little boy, anybody somewhere will just pick the Bible and mention the name of God and tell you that they can create your future for you. Nobody can create any future for you if your mind program does not support that future. Nobody. No matter what they say, nobody can create any future for you if you are not ready to reprogram that mind that you have for that future. Why? Because every choices that you're going to make as a human being, you have the liberty to make right choices or wrong choices. And if the choices are going to be right, it's because you have good mind program. If they are going to be wrong, it's because the program has been wrong. The other day I went for funeral and I saw a woman in the middle age, those around 50, getting to the old, almost 70-80% of them have bleached. And I continue to ask myself, these women, most of them, their husbands are even old or gone. So why are they bleaching? It's a mind program. It's in the culture. The thing about the mind program is that it copies everything that you see around you. Everything. What you see is what you are copying. Whether you are conscious or you are not conscious, what you see, you're copying. So the more you're exposed to good things, the more you start to reprogram that mind. If you're exposed to the same old corrupt things, you see, that's why you can lift somebody to another environment. Let's say he lives in an environment that is not organized. You take him to another environment, you start to train them, You show them standard. After a while, they start to adapt because the mind starts to talk to them. It's a mind program. It's responsible for every result that you are getting. They will tell you that is something else which is responsible for your life. If the marriage is not good, it's because go and look at the program. The program on marriage is wrong. That's why the marriage is not good. If the finances are not good, it's because of the program on finances. The mind program on finances that you have may be wrong. If the business is struggling, it's because the mind program there is wrong. The data that you have on that is wrong. If the health is not as you expected, it's because that mind program is wrong. If the country is suffering, if the finances, the economy is deteriorating, because the composite mind program is wrong. The difference between men is their mind program. That database that they have here. Human beings look the same, their eyes, nose, mouth, same. But that which is here is different. It's different. That's why you can pick somebody as a head of an institution. He's collapsing the company. They move that person there, they bring another person there. He starts to make changes. He's making the changes based on the mind program that he has. What he has come with. When you meet somebody, what you are meeting really is the mind program. When you talk to them, the words that they use, the interpretation that they're giving you, the answers that they're giving you, they're coming from where? How they construct, how they act, how they walk. Either they believe in superstition, that somebody has sat on their destiny. They have put some nails in their hand. That's why when they get money, the money drops through their hand. Or when they are taking car from here to Kumasi, somebody else will go to the, they will get an accident anyhow. It's all mind program. And the average African is programmed to fail. The average African is programmed to struggle. It's programmed to be a servant. It's programmed to have self-doubt. It's programmed to waste time and resources. Because you have not done anything about the culture that can bring productivity. Our culture mainly is ceremonial. Our culture mainly is not productive. It's not solution-oriented. The kind of culture that we have developed, it doesn't care. We want to laugh and smile and move around. And yet the critical situations around us, the health, the technology, the jobs, the businesses, the environment, the housing, the food, we don't have any mind program to bring the solution. So typically, if you were born here just as I was born here, you have to really reprogram for success. And they left the program not for the family. They left it for the education. And they left it for the religion. That's the best hope that we have at the moment. That's why we say that, he has gone to school. So once he has gone to school, it means that he can do it. So we think that the mind program is when the person has gone to school or when he goes to church. Maybe they are right, but the content coming from these places, if you look at our results now, there are a lot of questions that we have. The mind program. So you cannot rely on the school and think that you have a mind program that will create that future that you want. Develop that peace that you want. Develop that prosperity that you want. Develop that good heart, that value for human lives, that healthy living that you want, that prosperous family that you want to develop. You cannot develop on the family. You cannot develop on the school like that. And likely you cannot develop on the religion, especially the Christians. You can't. Why? Because they don't even expect you to use your mind. They just expect to pray for you. And everything will be solved. Life on earth is lived by the mind program. That's why human beings have head to think. That's why the animals cannot easily think. They work with their instinct. The mind program, the difference between men is the mind program, the quality of it. And you have to develop it well to get results. If you believe that your life is a struggle, that's how you're going to live. If you believe that you're a victim and you're poor, and your family is cursed, it's a program. You will live it. If you believe that you don't have what it takes to be successful, it's a mind program. If you believe that everything that happens to you, somebody in your village is pulling some strings, it's a mind program. It will happen. Everything that happens to you is a curse, it will happen. If you also believe that you have what it takes to create your own life, to be an honest person, to be a loving person, to be productive, to work hard, to be trusted. If you see yourself like that, it's coming from the mind program. And if you don't have this, you cannot win. All the top people that you see, go and listen to all of them, whether they are from Ghana or from another country. Look at how they talk, especially what they continue to say to themselves every day. They are not there crying that they are cursed. They are not there crying that they are inferior because they're black, or because they come from that village, or because of their tribe. No. They are not there thinking like that. Their mind is not like that. Their mind is looking for the solution. Becoming great, becoming big, developing, going faster, doing more. That's how their mind is programmed, and that's how they continue to program their mind. And the other person is always looking for somebody to blame. It's a mind program. So when you have a weak mind program, you are always looking for somebody to blame. When you reprogram your life for the future that you want, you take the responsibility of your life. And you never accept anybody to describe you as you don't have what it takes to create the future that you want. No. You don't let anybody talk to you like that. You don't let any institution, whether it's the family, whether it's chieftaincy, whether it's school, whether it's religion, you don't let anybody describe you as somebody who's scared, who is weak, who's inferior. Never. Because you start to reprogram, because your mind is going to play that which you believe about yourself. So it's a mind program. It's responsible for everything. If you believe that you don't have the right financial knowledge to create the future that you want, and you're not ready to get it, you live all your life in lack and poverty. If you believe that the struggles that you met in your life, in your business, in your family, was meant to be, and there's nothing that you can do about it, those things will continue to happen in your life. Life on this earth is how it's lived, really, according to how we have programmed our mind. The one that we did ourselves and the ones that they did for us. If you have to reprogram yourself out of this culture, out of this country, out of our environment, because there are a lot of challenges that we have to overcome, you must first of all know the things that you have to change and improve, because they will be responsible for everything that happens in your life. At least your interpretation of them, your reaction. If you allow anything to settle in your life, it's because of the program that you have. Program that you have. So my name is Kwabena. I am talking about the mind program. The program of our mind. The mind is a computer. It's the most powerful computer. It's the most powerful computer that you ever meet, you ever have. And all the powerful computers are running with a software. Somebody programmed that and put it on it, and they expect the computer to behave in a certain way. The same thing with humans. There's a software that you're playing. The problem is that you may not have put that software on you. Somebody else may have put that on you, but it's still going to be responsible for the results that you're getting. It's still going to be Still going to be. So instead of them telling us that we are responsible, this mind is responsible for the results that we are getting. And they are telling us that witchcraft somewhere, a demon somewhere, somebody somewhere is responsible for every mess that is happening, whether in your life or in our continent or in our country. A lot of it is not true. And the earlier that you accept those facts and look at how your mind has been programmed, the faster your life will be. The earlier that you know that a lot of these things that are happening in your life are coming from how your mind has been programmed. The earlier that you accept, the better your life will improve. The better your company will improve. The better your family will improve. The better the company or the country will improve. If the company is not doing well, it's not demon. It's the mind program. If the family is not doing well, it's not a witchcraft. It's not a demon. It's the mind program that we have. Because there are other human beings on this earth who are not believing the way we believe. The superstition, the witchcraft that we interpret everything with. Because if the mind does not have a lot of quality process, software or program to process, the natural thing for the mind is go and believe that which is beyond it. That's why you see a lot of Africans, because the data that we have is non-existent. We so believe in superstition as the conduit or as the way that we use to interpret everything that happens in our lives, because they left the program, the mind program. And I so believe that that's how God made man. That's why the brain is so powerful, because I couldn't get it. Why would somebody give these people this powerful tool, the mind, and not let them use it? And not let them use it. You can only control people to the extent that you control their mind, the program. You can only control them to the extent that you control this mind. Somebody can lie to you all your life. You will never know it, because it's a program. They will not use a gun on you. They will not use anything on you. It just works. They say some things to you, and they control your life every day. So it's a mind program. Life is like that. So the earlier you accept that you are going to improve your life, if you start to improve the program on your mind, the better you will get results. And that a lot of things that are happening in your life, it's not witchcraft, it's not demon, it's not anything. It's just that your mind software is responsible, it's weak. It's weak. You don't know what to do to repair it, So thank you very much. So on the money, what you define as success and achievement, the value that you give to human beings, the peace that you enjoy, the quality of life that you have, the level of excellence that you have, they are all coming from the program of the mind. So my life is not going to change from now to the next 3-4 years if that program does not improve. It's not. No matter whoever is declaring prayer on you, it's not. As the man thinks in his heart, that's how he is. So it's a mind program. It's responsible for everything. On this earth, the mind is that powerful. The mind is that powerful. So your philosophy on a lot of things are coming from the mind program. The mind program. The mind program. So when you are in any environment where they are trying to convince you not to use your mind, they are taking your humanity out. They are destroying you. if you're in any place where they are trying to dominate you by establishing their power over you, they're taking your humanity out. They are programming you to be slave. You will never feel at liberty. And that is seen all over in our country. The politicians want to control our mind, the media, even the church people. They want to tell you that they have power over you. And you cannot go to God directly. You have to use them. And when they make mistake, we cannot ask questions. Because they don't expect us to have a quality mind. Because they think that they have programmers anyway. So thank you very much for watching. Your life is responsible. Your mind, the program that you develop, that you have developed, and that you will develop is responsible for your growth, for your success, for your peace, for everything that happens in your life, the way you work with people, the character that you develop, the way you spend your time, how you treat your wife, your husband. Everything that you're involved is coming from how well you do it is coming from that mind program. So if you're not good at it, it's because the mind program is weak. Nobody is doing it for you. It's you. It's you. It's you. No matter what. Because they have trained our generation to be lazy in terms of our mind. So we don't really use our mind. We don't ask any question. A lot of our people are afraid to use the mind. And yet it's responsible for all that happens in our life. Everything that is constantly, continuously happening in your life is because you have a program for it. You cannot be consistent with anything if your mind is not programmed that way. You cannot. If you're honest as a person, it's because that's the program that you have. If you're courteous, it's because that's the program that you have. If you're a clean person, if you're neat, that's the program that you have. If you're hardworking, it's because of how you interpret issues, the mind program. If you're dishonest, the same. If you're lazy, same. If you're dirty, it's the same. If you're sloppy with money, it's the same. It's because you don't, the program that runs on money on you is weak. So you struggle. You're poor. If you're a wicked person, it's the same. It's a program. There's a certain way that you interpret issues when it comes to certain ways, certain things. It's a program. You know, so like the computer, when they set it, you press T to show it on the screen. Everything that they press, it will show because it's a program. The mind connects everything that is happening in your life. When let's say you're going somewhere and you see they have put the chicken, blood, dropping. If you are from here, like me, you would think that somebody has used it for medicine. Because that's the program that they put us. They put us through. Because when you're growing up, when you see somebody, when you see anything like that, it means that it's for, the fetish priest. Anybody who is coming from another culture, which never link to that, will see it and just take a picture and move on. It is a program. Human beings are programmed out of the environment, out of the school, out of the religion, out of the media, and everything forms in your mind. Now, the thing is that every resource that is also coming from your life is as a result of this program. So if you don't like the resource, then look at how these programs are affecting, and possibly you will want to change them. And there's a way you can change them. When you start to look at the data, the ones that you are feeling frustrated about, you start to go and look for the one that will make you at peace and get results. And they are all there. Whether it's the marriage, if it's not working, there's the data that can help you. Through the program, don't blame a demon, because that's how they have told us. Everything is spiritual, it's superstition, it's a demon somewhere, it's a witchcraft. We never link a lot of these things to the mind program. The words that I'm using them because that's the way I've been programmed. how I speak, the shirt that I wore today. So it's everything. It's everything. And even anything that you build, the structure that you build around anything, just as a result of the mind program that you have. The mind program. So it's responsible. They call it actually mindset. They call it mindset. Mindset, and it's responsible for everything in our lives, as we think, as we interpret issues, as we see things, the way we see things, the way we react to things, coming from the mind. Something will happen and somebody will be so calm. It's so difficult, it's so chaotic. And somebody will go hysterical. Why? Because of the program. It shows your reaction, your emotions. It shows your stamina. It shows your consistency, your persistence, your courage. It's a mind program. You're doing business, you met some challenges, they said I give up. It's a program. And somebody will fail 20 times and they still keep going. It's a program. It's a program. So you decide to feed yourself with strong things that will reprogram your mind for the successes that you want. Because nothing is going to happen in your life until that program is working well. So how you work, the hours that you put in your work, the diligence you show, the honesty, how you treat people, they are all the things that you start to put in the program, because without them, you're not going to see the results that you want. How hard, how big you want to become is a program. How large you want to become with your dream, with your aspirations is all a program. The people that you move it, they're programming you. The culture. The preacher that you are listening to every Sunday is programming you. The TV station that you're watching every day, the radio station that you're watching every day, they're all programming you. So the choice is yours. If you want to be big, you want to be large, you want success, you create that environment so that your program will work well. Because everything that I'm putting here is going to be responsible for the things that happen in my life. And how I deal with the vicissitudes of life, the difficulties, the challenges, everything that comes in life. My reaction is according to the program that I have. So thank you.